But, we focused a lot on Chelsea, and rightly so. Like, this is obviously a Chelsea win. United, again, you're 2-0 down. You put it back to 2-2. You get it to 3-2. It's the 99th minute, and you lose the game 4-3. United have lost 17 games in all competitions. 12 in the league. 12 in the league, United. But bear in mind, Everton have lost 14 in the league. Gosh. United have lost 12 games in the league. Every time you think it's a step forward, the big win, Liverpool in the Cup, you just think the Brentford result, the way you played there.
No, Manchester United are all over the place now. It's gone too far. I think it's over. I think anybody that was even trying to protect Eric Ten Hag, the Ten Hag project, it's over. Whether he's sacked today, tomorrow, at the end of the season, or midway through the summer after the Euros, he will leave. He will not be the Manchester United manager at the beginning of next season. There is a genuine conversation as to whether he really has earned the right and deserves the opportunity to finish this season. I would say that when you think about what Manchester United have going for them this season, they are now a cup team. They are now totally revolving around hoping to secure their place in the FA Cup final. Is Eric Ten Hag capable of getting them there? And if he is he capable of winning it?
No, because it will be yourselves or Man City. But then again, you never know. They're a cup team, as you say, and they could turn up in the cup. I guess you live and die by your signings, don't you? Onana's been dreadful for them. Anthony's been dreadful, although that pass, by the way, to Garnacho was absolutely sublime.
But Addy, where I have to come back to here, people really waxing lyrical about that outside of the boot cross. It was beautiful, no doubt. Yeah. First assist of the season, Addy.
I'm just saying, it was
it was a wonderful assist, but I think it's very important to put it in context. The season is nearly finished. We are in the business end of the season, and Anthony has contributed his first assist. Glorious as it was, it doesn't create a facade around the rest of the season.
You know who's contributed absolutely nothing?
I mean, this is an endless list of Manchester United players.
Or very little, anyway, is Mason Mount.
Marcus Rashford. We could play a game of top trumps here.
Because when they bought Mason Mount, you looked at that midfield, or at least some did, and thought, okay, well, one second, Casemiro, at the start of the season, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, and even you're looking at others that could maybe get, Garnacho could get minutes. We didn't know too much about Kobe Mainoo. Obviously, look, Mount got the reception that I expected him to get at Chelsea. What have you made of Mason Mount at United and him coming back to the bridge yesterday?
Mason Mount has been injured, so it's very difficult to weigh up his entire contributions to that club. But what I do, I can never suggest that this isn't the truth. I think that Mason Mount is a lovely little footballer. I really do. I don't like him. I don't want him to succeed. I hope to be proved wrong on that theory. But I rate him as a player. I think he's a fantastic destructor. He is a nuisance in the opposition. You know, all of that stuff that really does matter on the football pitch these days. He is the reason
we're struggling for the third place in the England midfield.
Yes.
Because it would be Mount, it would be Rice, it would be Jude.
Yes.
That's what it would have been. That's what everyone expected it to be.
But his form now for 2 years has been woeful. He hasn't had a good season this year. Okay, he's been injured a lot. And I think the season before he ended up leaving Chelsea, it wasn't a good year for him. It really wasn't. So he is struggling crucially for form. And it hasn't worked out at Manchester United at all. Injuries are a massive part of that. But even when he's played, I think it's been fairly underwhelming. You've got to remember yesterday.
Did he have injuries at Chelsea like this?
Not like this. He was out.
Crazy, isn't it? He had these niggles, but not
like this.
He's been out pretty much 70% of the season.
No, he hasn't.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, he really hasn't played. But he came on the pitch at Stamford Bridge. It was like poetic. It was beautifully poetic, Shakespearean almost.
For you,
he comes on, and Manchester United are winning. He comes on. Manchester United fans are singing. They're calling Cole Palmer a Manchester City reject. It's all going wrong for Chelsea. Mason Mount enters the fray. He bowls into the fray. Suddenly, the score's 3-3. We take that. Suddenly, he's on the losing side. He's been on the pitch for 7 minutes. He's gone from winning to losing. And then he's had a little spat with Enzo Fernandez as well, which was the icing on the cake. Enzo Fernandez went up drastically in my estimation.
Do you think, before we take the calls, and I promise we will take the calls, do you think it will work out for him? Obviously, Eric Ten Hag bought him. Eric Ten Hag, I don't think, will be there at the start of next season. Do you think it will work out for him?
There's just so much going wrong with Manchester United. This isn't only about Mason Mount. When you think about that,
but he's a big player.
He is a big player.
He's someone that, if fit, I expect him to be able to kind of lift this club.
Do you know what? There was one photograph that I saw, which I think can be used as a microcosm for who this Manchester United team are. It was as Chelsea lined up for the corner. The corner that ultimately led to the winner. Cole Palmer, Chelsea's only danger. The player that has already scored 2 goals.
Hanging around the edge of the box.
Nobody marking him. Mason Mount was there. It's all very well for us to blame Eric Ten Hag, and I do that. I think that Eric Ten Hag is totally capable. But he cannot be held accountable for individual player idiocy.
Yeah, players just not running.
Not being sensible, not being switched on, not being committed, not being totally intelligent as a footballer. When Cole Palmer, a player that has damaged you 3 times already in one season, a player that is clearly Chelsea's best player, mark him in the last minute. When he's just scored a goal, mark him. It's basic and it's really problematic.
I think the biggest takeaway from watching the game yesterday is that it's 2 really bad teams.
Yeah.
Like 2 historically big teams that...
2 punch-drunk heavyweights.
Yeah, 2 punch-drunk, 2 heavyweights at the end of their careers getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, it's Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis now.
Yeah.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Certainly is. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Mike, Chelsea fan. Mike, obviously, look, you must be happy with the result, but ultimately you are still a team languishing sort of where you shouldn't be, 10th, 11th. What do you take from it?
Yeah, we're not where we should be, you're right, but we have to take the positives. At the moment, we're a very, very young side with some players that are showing great promise. So we have to take it on the chin this year, and I think we just have to look to next year now and hope that we improve. But the reason I've called is I want to try and convince you that Palmer can fit into that England starting 11.
Go on.
Yes.
Go on,
I want to hear this,
who
Mike.
comes out, who goes in? Go on.
Okay, well, we have to change the formation to what we're playing at the moment, and we have to ditch the back 5 and go to a 4-2-3-1.
Okay.
Now, the back 4, for me, or the back 5, with England, is our weakness. Doesn't matter which 4 or 5 we play, that's our weak point. So let's say we play a back 4. We don't know who's fit yet. So in front of the back 4, you'd have Bellingham and Rice. In front of Bellingham and Rice, you'd have Saka, Palmer, Foden, with Kane up top.
I like it.
Don't mind it.
I like
Don't
it.
mind
It's just Bellingham is now not a defensive midfielder anymore, and Declan Rice is now not a defensive midfielder anymore. So we're asking them to do jobs for England that they haven't done for their clubs all season. Are you comfortable with that, Mike?
Yeah, they're both capable, more than capable of playing that position. And
Mike's like, yeah, anything to get Palmer in.
No, Palmer's good enough. Palmer has to be ahead of Rashford, Grealish, Maddison, miles ahead of those 3.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you know what I think it becomes? I think it becomes a straight shootout between... I don't think we can amend our structure the way that you're suggesting so close to a tournament. Whether we should or not is kind of neither here nor there. We don't have a manager that is versatile. We don't have a manager that is tactically versatile and tactically up for experimentation. So I think it's going to be the 4 at the back with at least one holding midfielder, with Declan Rice patrolling, Jude Bellingham playing in his number 10 with Kane in front. Then it's what happens on the wings. And I think, look, Saka has been immense. It feels ridiculous to suggest leaving him out.
No, you can't leave Saka out.
You can't leave Saka out. Phil Foden must start.
Yeah.
But the crucial thing is with Phil Foden, he's been playing centrally for Guardiola. He's been playing in the position that Bellingham wants to play. So do you play Foden out of position, or do you play Palmer in a slightly more natural position for him? Foden on the wing, for example. Foden in Grealish's position. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because he's not going to play a 10. But Foden feels like the perfect 10.
But he can't be a 10 with Jude Bellingham around, can he? You can't. Well, basically, what we're suggesting here is it's Foden or Bellingham.
You know, Jude can 100% play an 8. I know you're saying he hasn't for Real Madrid this season, but Jude can 100% play an 8. That's what. Remember, the thing about Jude Bellingham coming through was that he played every number.
So
what
are you suggesting? You're suggesting that a midfield 3 of Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden.
And I'm saying
which means Cole Palmer on one wing, Cole Palmer out on the Grealish position.
There you go.
We've done it.
We've done it.
Thank you for your help there, Mike. We've done it.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you. Show's over. We'll see you next week, Friday.
Gareth, I'm going to be invoicing you.
All right, let's get a call from United fan, Mike. Mike, what do you make of it, Mike? 3-2 up, 99th minute, you're 4-3 losers.
The whole thing was a bit of a joke, to be honest. I'm still not really over it, but I just look at it and go, as a United fan, you can't compare what happens on the pitch with Cole Palmer. Like, he's got talent and he's having an incredible season. Like, no one can deny it. But to go out and say that he's better than Phil Foden, and as a United fan, I look at it now and go, Phil Foden's the best player at Manchester City. And this is a player that every single person, every pundit, every media, even every member of the public was telling that he should go out on loan. Guardiola's not looking after him. He's now showing his quality. And to not have him starting for England and to even suggest that Cole Palmer should be ahead of him or even Saka, I think it's doing a bit of an injustice really to Foden after the year he's having. I know obviously you mentioned earlier, like in that City team, anyone can play well in that City team and get goals. But like you said earlier, for him to be the best player in what is potentially the best team in the world, and then Cole Palmer has had. He's had a very, very good season, but I think he's still proven himself. His record is a few games for the under-21s, and he's been on the bench for England. So if the argument is, well, we need him in the England squad in case we get into a penalty shootout, I don't think that's strong enough.
He's had a great season, though, and look, I think he should be in the squad. Do I go with Rory Jennings' idea of him starting? No, I do think he should be in the squad, though. Imagine someone like Cole Palmer coming off the bench with his kind of just brilliance and arrogance at the same time. I think it would be fantastic for England. But look, we know what Gareth Southgate's like, so the chance of him being in the squad are slim at this moment.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.